Well, hello, folks. It's your old buddy Jimmy here. You might know me as OG-san. Changed my channel name because I have a lot of random content and it's hard to drive everybody to a channel that they have no idea what they're getting into. So I figured I'd just forewarn them. It's random content. But one of my favorite things to do, and one of the main reasons I'm on YouTube, is my love of barrel-aged stouts. Now, I love all kinds of barrel-aged beer. Ales, barley wines. I even like barrel-aged wine. You should try that out sometime. Josh makes a killer barrel-aged wine. But I will forewarn you, be careful with that one. Now, a few years ago, I met the boys over on 21090. And if you've never been to 21090, you need to go check them out on Tuesdays. They're the guys that introduced me to barrel-aged stouts. Now, this wasn't the first barrel-aged beer I tried in my journey, but this was the first one that I fell in love with. The 2020 Bourbon County Stout from Goose Island. This is my standard. So the other day, Todd from 21090, we were talking about how I rate beers. And really, I kind of got myself pigeonholed a little bit because I really don't have a set standard of how I rate beers. So that's fixing to change. Since the Bourbon County Stout 2020 model is kind of my baseline, it's not a perfect beer, but it is a very good beer. I've only had a few beers ever that were better than that 2020 Bourbon County Stout. So I've got to come up with a system. I've got to come up with a scaling system, a scoring system of my own, so that maybe if you start learning what I like, maybe you'll like it too, and it might help you pick some beers out, because there's nothing I like better than out there treasure hunting for beers. Now, what we're going to call this system is the OBS, and that stands for the OG-san Beer Score, and it's very simple. It's very easy. It's a 10-point rule. It is based on pour, how it looks when you pour it out. Is it sticky in the glass? Is it lacing up nice? The nose, what kind of notes are you getting off of that? Does it smell boozy and chocolatey like heaven? Of course, the taste. I prefer thick, sweet, just delicious beer. I am not a hophead. I do not like IPAs. I'm not into bitter, hoppy, or anise taste. Then we got the feel, the mouth feel. How does this thing coat the tongue? Because that is very important. Some of these are very good beers, but the mouth feel is just a little off, so it doesn't fulfill you as much. For me, you may like a thin mouth feel. Maybe that will help you decide what you like and what you don't like. And last but not least, I used to hang out on this little show I helped create called Clouds and Stouts, and we had one very important score: the mustache ride, the finish. How does this thing linger? How does it leave you? After you've had your sip, does it leave you with a long finish that you don't like, or a long finish that you can savor and get that sweetness right there on the end of your mustache and just make a whole night of it? Now, my scoring system is super simple too, with those 5 categories. Each category, if I don't like it, it's a 0. If I do like it, it's a 1. If it's exceptional, if it's magical, it gets a 2. 5 categories, maximum of 10 points. And then when I go out to like Untapped, I will just divide the score in half. And that's how I will rate them on the Untapped when I go out there and rate beers, because that's how this conversation started. Now, without any further ado, I've got one that I'm excited about. This has been on my shelf for a while. I picked this up in Branson, Missouri. not too far from the brewery that makes this beer. And this was one I just happened to find. They just happened to have one bottle left, and I happened to be the guy that was going to buy it. I have a 2019 Materfamilias. This is from Mother's Brewing out of Springfield, Missouri, and this one is barrel aged in rum barrels. So this is going to be a little bit sweeter than a normal bourbon barrel aged stout. Now, after my first experience with the 2020 Bourbon County Stout, I was searching. I was looking for more magical beers. In Materfamilias, it was a 2020 or 2021 edition. It was in the little bottle. I've got one of those left. That was the next beer I fell in love with. I tasted it, and it's so different because they blend so many different flavors in. As where the Bourbon County Stout was, the 2020 was very direct. It was very chocolatey and boozy and delicious and perfect. Materfamilias, you get a lot more different fruit notes. You get a lot of flavors. Just everything's blended together. Now this is a 2019. This is probably the one and only 2019 Materfamilias I'll ever get. This beer used to be called MILF, M-I-L-F. And I would not recommend Google searching Materfamilias or MILF. Just look up Mother's Brewing. You'll get there. So it's a cool little brewery up in Springfield. I got to get up there and visit those guys. Alright, so this little 2019 model of this Materfamilias from Mother's is it is barreled in rum agricole, and this is use rum Clement barrels. So this is going to be pretty sweet. It is 11% alcohol by volume. I'm guessing that the IBUs have got to be extremely low on this because I cannot imagine this being bitter. Every time I've had a Materfamilias, it has always come through with sweet, fruity notes. Now this one may be a little different because I believe that the 20, 21, and 22 that I have, they are barreled in multiple different kinds of spirits, not just rum. But this one is specifically barreled in rum barrels. Now, I'm not particularly a rum guy. I'm more of a bourbon guy. Some rye, but I'm kind of a corn rum guy. Sometimes I find rum is actually too sweet for me. This is just a sugarcane whiskey, pretty much. Now, I've looked at this bottle for a long time, and it's a big bottle. So this is going to be my whole night right here, sipping on this thing. I hope it's delicious. I hope it's good. Enough talk. Let me give you a review. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was kind of stalling because beers like this, it's a happy, sad occasion to do this. I'm happy because, oh, look at that. I'm happy that I get to try the beer. I'm happy that I get to experience the beer. But it makes you sad because this may be the only one I ever get. Let's let this here head settle down and I'll be right back. You don't know how hard it is for me not to lick my hands while I'm cleaning this up because I want to save the taste until I get to the tasting part of the review. So I better get this poured so we can avert any more disasters. Now, right off the bat, as I pour this in traditional barrel-aged stout style, it is dark as the night. I cannot see any light coming through that. And look at that chocolatey head. Now, let's check out. See if, oh yeah, it's nice and sticky. You know, one thing you can kind of tell with some of these is how the head settles. Usually if it's super boozy, the head settles pretty quick. So the longer the head hangs around, you know, sometimes it correlates. Sometimes it means that it's not quite as boozy. My hands are sticky, and I'm so tempted to lick my fingers right now. But I'm going to resist. So, the pour, the look, the lacing, the stickiness on the glass, it gets a 1. That is a typical barrel-aged stout material. I've had some of these that I poured out that legitly looks like glue on the side of the glass. Now this one's doing a very good job of lacing this glass. It appears to be very sticky, and I'm sure it is because my hands are super sticky from cleaning that up. But I've had some hang out up there, and what I personally like to see is that big nice chocolatey head kind of dissipate maybe a little faster, and maybe lace the glass up just a little bit more on the way down. And that to me gives me the impression that it's going to be sticky and boozy, which I think this one's going to be. This one appears to be fine. So doesn't get a 2, gets a 1 for the pour. All right, let's get this big old nose involved here. And you know, you kind of start learning which nostril you prefer. I prefer my left nostril. Right off the bat, I get rum, I get coffee, I get chocolate. I'm catching some vanilla and probably caramel. This is going to be sweet. It is not super boozy. Again, this is a 2019. It's sitting in that bottle for a while, so it may have mellowed out a little bit. I would have loved to have tried one of these young, because that is a huge factor with these barrel-aged beers. Because you can hold these things, you can keep them on the shelf for 10 plus years, and the flavor changes every year. The nose on it, boozy, a little fruity, a little fruit forward. There's a little fig note in there. Vanilla, caramel, chocolate, and just a little smoky roasted coffee right on top of everything. The nose, again, I give it a 1. All right, we're fixing to get down to the heart of the matter here. This thing, the head still has not settled down on this. And you know, I'm not a brewer. I don't know what makes a head. I don't know if it's the sugar. I don't know if it's the carbonation. It's probably some combination of everything. But this head is still hanging out here, which is fine. Sometimes it's fine. I do prefer a head that goes away quick because I know that it's going to be a little bit boozier. Now we've looked at it. We've smelled it. Let's taste it. And I can't wait. I've been looking at this beer for a long time. So right off the bat, it is rum. Like you can taste the rum. It is sweet. It is smooth. The tastes in this are very delicate almost. You get some of the caramel on the back of your tongue. You get a lot of fruity notes that hang up in the roof of my mouth. That's where they're at right now. Just kind of hanging out up there in the back roof of my mouth. The tip of my tongue. That's almost hot. That's almost like it's boozy. Like you can feel the burn on the tip of your tongue with this. Overall, it's a very good balance. Now this is not the best Materfamilias I've ever had. You know, I wanted to try it. It's a 2019 model. In my opinion, the 2020 model is leagues above this one. But this is a very, very good beer. a little bit roasty. Now, I've had a lot of barrel-aged beers. A lot of barrel-aged beers. A lot of different kinds. And there's kind of the ones that you have to kind of get through. The ones you like, the ones you enjoy, and the ones you love. This one, I'm enjoying it. This is not going to be a superstar in my catalog, but this is one I've looked at and wanted to try for a long time. Now, I would almost suspect that Todd and Andy from 21090 would love this one because it is a little bit spicy. It's got a little bit of that 2022 Bourbon County Stout hit to it. But it's super mellow. It's been sitting in that it's been sitting in this bottle, you know, for 3+ years, and it's just super mellow. I guess that's the best way I can describe this. It's got everything there. It's just really mellowed out, and it may just be due to age. But I ain't gonna stop drinking it. All right, folks. On taste, we're gonna give this thing a 1. I like it. It's not amazing. I like it. The 2020 and 2021 and 2022 Materfamilias, they would all get 2s. This one's just right on the cusp of a 2, but it's just a little bit mellowed out, and it may just be that it's been sitting in the bottle for too long, and it may have got a 2 back in the day. And if I try 2020, it may have mellowed that out too. Excuse me. That's a good beer. So right now, the pour 1, nose 1, taste 1. I like it all. Decent little beer. Very good. The big category, and one of my most important categories, is the feel. We like them thick and viscous. That's how me and most of my friends like them. Some people don't like them so thick and viscous, but this one has retained a lot of that viscosity. It's got just a really nice coating. It's not syrupy. It's really got a nice feel in the mouth. Almost a perfect viscosity. The taste, and it may be the rum versus, you know, bourbon barrel aged. Maybe that's why the taste isn't a 2, but the mouthfeel is almost perfect. The mouthfeel gets a 2. All right, so the final score, the final thing we need to talk about and look at is the finish, the mustache ride. And I can tell you, it's been a few seconds since I've had a sip. This dissipates really quickly. It's got a short finish. It is not lingering. The rum taste, the sweetness, the barrel aged goodness of this beer, it's got a pretty short life inside your mouth, even with that amazing viscosity mouthfeel. It is super sweet. It is the rum, the sugar cane from the rum comes through on every sip, and it sticks hard to my mustache. So while it is a short finish, it is a very good sweet finish. These, if it's a long finish, I want it to be a long sweet finish. I want it to be like I took a shot of bourbon and then somebody gently laid a wafer of chocolate on the back of my tongue, and it, you know, that's like a perfect finish. That's like that'd be like a 3 finish. So this finish on this thing, the Mustache Ride, I am going to give this, I'm going to give it a 1. It's a very good finish. It's a nice finish. It's just short. And it's probably due to the age of the beer. So, you know, it's been sitting in the bottle for a while, and you can see how sticky this thing is. And for it being that sticky, you know, you would kind of expect a little bit longer of a finish. You would expect a little bit more on the mustache, but it's nice. It goes down smooth, never gets bitter. From the time you drink it till the time it finishes the finish, it's the same. It's mellow. Very good. Very good beer. Alright, I gotta put my glasses on so I can see my notebook. Pour, 1. Nose, 1. Taste, 1. Mouthfeel, 2. The finish, the Mustache Ride, it gets a 1. So this thing has an overall score of 6 out of 10 points for the 2019 Materfamilias. And again, pro tip, don't go looking up MILF or Materfamilias. Just look up Mother's Brewing. The 2020, 2021, and the 2022 Materfamilias, hands down, some of my most favorite beers. And I think this probably would have been up there with them had I had this in 2019. It's super mellow. It is. Seems like it's lost a little steam as far as the taste, because everything's kind of mellowed out in there. And again, I'm not a big rum guy, so that may play a factor too. It's sticky, but it's got a short finish. It's fruity. It's got a lot of vanilla, a lot of caramel. It's got all those kind of sugary hits. It's even got, you know, a fruit hit to it. But it's just got a short finish. It goes away quick. The mouthfeel is perfect. This is how I want all my stouts to feel. Nice coating in the mouth. It doesn't feel like I'm drinking syrup. It doesn't feel like I'm drinking coffee. I want that right there in the middle of that. All in all, Materfamilias 2019 OBS OG Sans beer score 6 out of 10. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you get a chance, check it out. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you think about Materfamilias. It's one of my most favorite beers. This is the first 2019 I've had. Probably going to be the last 2019 I ever have. They're not all bangers. There's a lot of the Bourbon County stouts that I just flat don't like. Some of them I'm absolutely in love with. That's the way it goes with craft beer. That's the way it goes with these barrel-aged stouts. You got to go out there and treasure hunt. You got to find what you like and be honest about what you like. And maybe you can find somebody on YouTube with a similar taste as you, and you can get some good advice on what to look for on your next treasure hunt. So until the next video, cheers, y'all. I love you, and I will see you after my next hunt. I gotta clear this shelf up, man. I've got way too many beers. Like, yeah, I am full. I gotta do like 100 reviews.